This is the Valley Today.
Brace yourself for a big blast of high heat. Temperatures are approaching extreme highs. We have some ways to keep you cool and safe coming up in a few minutes. But first, we want to head on over to meteorologist Lisa Green this morning. And Lisa, this weather is really no joke out there. We have to take it seriously.
Yeah, and it's the kind of weather that sneaks up on you because it's not, dramatic like thunderstorms are or flash flooding is, but it can still cause some issues. And so we want you to take it seriously all weekend long. But our first alert weather day is specifically for Sunday. That's going to be the peak of the hot weather. But this all starts up as early as tomorrow morning all the way through Monday. So we want you to be ready for several days in a row of that kind of weather. Right now, though, we've got one more day of some beautiful conditions that are not going to be as tough. It's very sunny out there. We've got clear skies across the valley, including in Fargo-Moorhead. Now that we're enjoying that sun up here, should be a sunny day all day long. Fargo, Grand Forks, both at 54 degrees. Bemidji, a little cooler at 48. So you're going to notice that perhaps when you step out that it's feeling a little cool here to start off this morning. A good time to maybe get outside and do some gardening before the hot weather takes over. And a look out on our radar and satellite map. It's quiet, not only in the Red River Valley, but it is quiet everywhere here. We've watched that storm system that was affecting our weather move on. So let's talk about our forecast for today. Again, a really nice summer day. Temperatures are going to be warmer. We start that transition. We'll see some numbers back into the 80s this afternoon for Fargo and places especially in the Southern Valley. We'll have a lot of sun. The wind won't be all that strong. It actually would be nice if we had a little bit of it to cool us down a bit, but we won't see much. We'll be more into the teens by this afternoon and evening with that wind turning more easterly by later today. So all in all, not a bad day. Just watch out for that sun. It's going to be pretty strong here. You're going to need that sunblock here on this Friday if you're going to be heading out to the lake a little bit earlier, hitting up the pool. You'll want to be out at the lake or the pool here this weekend. We were talking not only about the hot temperatures, but the heat index too. It's that combination again that takes its toll on you when you factor in the hot temperatures and then the humidity, which will be ramping up as that warmer air moves in from the south. And so we're looking at today being pretty good. But when we factor in the two, that sends our heat index values up into the 100s. Even if your air temperature never makes it there, it's going to feel like this coming up for the weekend. 105 on Saturday. We may even hit the 110s on Sunday, and then that carries over into Monday as well. And that's when it starts to get dangerous. It's so difficult for your body to cool down when we're talking about heat index values at that range. So we're going to get into this more, our forecast high temperatures for the weekend, and when we can expect some relief coming our way. You can see some hints at it on Tuesday. More details to come in your forecast.
Even for the heat lovers, though, I know there's some of them out there, you need to take this seriously and watch out.
Yeah, it's going to take its toll on your body just like it will on somebody who doesn't love the heat. So, maybe if you want to step out for a little bit, but make sure you take some breaks and get some areas of air conditioning. We've been talking about that all morning. And in addition to that, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That is so important.
It sure is. Lisa, thank you. And speaking of the upcoming heat wave, many of us are plotting ways to try and stay cool anyway. The Valley Today's JC Dodd joins us live with some advice ahead of this scorching weekend. Good morning, JC.
That's right, Jordan. Heat is the #1 killer among weather-related deaths in the U.S. So this weekend, that forecast Lisa was just giving us can be very potentially deadly here in the valley. So you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, your pet, your family, whether you're going out to the pool, the lake to try and beat the heat, or staying inside. You want to make sure you have a good air conditioning running, which with heat temperatures like this, ACs can go out because they're working too hard. So you might want a backup plan if you plan to stay indoors. Good idea. I'm at West Acres Mall right now. Public place, you can pop in, cool off, get some of that AC, and allow your body temperature to cool down. And so with that heat-related illnesses, there's 3 main types. You've got heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and then the fatal kind, heat stroke. So you want to look out for these symptoms. They're on your screen right now. You're going to look for dizziness, cold, moist skin, goosebumps. You feel like you're heavy sweating, not just your average walking to your car on a run, heavy sweating. You are heavy sweating and you cannot cool off. Now, heat exhaustion, if not treated and doesn't get any better, can turn into heat stroke. And Jordan, that can be fatal. Heat stroke is when your core body temperature gets to 103 degrees. That is very, very, very hot. And if that happens to you, you're going to want to seek emergency medical treatment right away. So this forecast is nothing to play around with. You do not want to get caught out in the heat without a way to cool yourself down. Drink a lot of water. Make sure you, your pets, and your family are staying hydrated this weekend to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, you really need to watch out for those signs. JC Dodd reporting live this morning. Thank you. A Georgia woman is facing criminal charges for leaving her children in a hot car during dangerously high temperatures. Temperatures at the time were around 93 degrees outside. The doors were unlocked, so officers were able to immediately get the children out of the car. They found that they were suffering from the early signs of heat exhaustion and heat-related illness. The kids couldn't get out. One of them was an infant. The other was just 5 years old. The mother told police that she was in the store for a few minutes doing some shopping. Extreme heat over the several days could cause roads to crack or heave. That heat can cause concrete slabs to expand, resulting in surface breaks and other damage. And it happens fast, usually without warning. And that could create dangerous conditions on the sidewalks, in parking lots, and on roads. If you spot a problem, Fargo Public Works wants you to report it. Roads in Oslo, Minnesota are starting to reopen after floodwaters shut them down this spring. Some gravel roads are still in need of repair, though, and debris remains strewn across fields outside the levee system. In late April, people could not drive in or out of town because of high water. The mayor there says if it wasn't for the permanent flood protection plan, many parts of town would have been in serious trouble. The next step is to tackle the debris that's left behind and then to fix those roads.
We got FEMA involved, so that everything takes a little time, but it's going to take some time. I mean, we got debris to clean up, gravel to haul in. It's a mess still.
The mayor hopes to have the town cleaned up for Oslo Days in August. A Moorhead woman is feeling the sting of a recent burglary. She says more than $5,000 worth of items were stolen from her garage. Some of them are priceless to her. Tents, camping and fishing gear, golf clubs, car batteries, bikes, and an entire toolbox were all cleared out. The victim says her weed whacker and lawnmower were also taken apart with parts gone. Thieves also made off with some personal art, family heirlooms, and even food. The thief also unplugged her freezer, so all the food in there rotted. The woman says she hasn't left her home in days because she's afraid it will happen again.
Don't know who or why anyone would have done this. I'm one of the most giving people I know. I would give you the shirt off my back if you needed it. But this is horrible. Who does this to a single freaking parent?
Nelson has put posts on Nextdoor and alerted resale Facebook pages and area pawn shops on what to look out for. Anyone who thinks they might have bought a stolen item should contact Moorhead Police. Fargo police are warning people to lock up their homes after a string of major break-ins on the south side. Thieves are breaking into empty homes through windows and sliding glass doors. Police say the biggest problem areas right now are the Rose Creek, Southbridge, Centennial, and Timberline neighborhoods.
It's probably likely that folks are driving around in the daytime to look at some of these locations. We're not exactly sure how they're picking them, other than it appears that in almost all of the cases, the people have been out of town for a period of time.
Police say you should lock your windows and also put a 2x4 or something else in your sliding glass door before you head out of town. Also have your security system and camera on a battery backup. These criminals have been pulling and cutting wires so they can stay undetected. A Twin Valley, Minnesota police officer and probation officer in Polk and Norman counties is accused of having a sexual relationship with an inmate. Scott Volker is charged with criminal sexual conduct and misconduct of a public officer. The inmate says the relationship started in early 2021 and that the two had sex at several area hotels, and they even stayed at Volker's home in Twin Valley. Court documents say receipts, surveillance video, and other evidence corroborates that inmate's story. He's walking the streets a free man right now, and he had planned to give a couple of concerts, but now venues are turning a thumbs down on the man who tried to kill former President Reagan. But next, Lisa Green is in with a check of your forecast. A nice Friday morning out there, but then in the next 24 to 48 hours, we have to watch out for that heat. She explains coming up.